Today's date, January 12th, 2018. So you have a point of reference because it's sensitive for this video. So there's a lot of buzz in the news about how there's all these jobs being created, the workers are getting bonuses, and there's hiring and stuff like that. And so why are they doing all this stuff, and what's it really mean, and what's the dirty secrets that they're not telling you and they're not going to tell you about how it's actually driving up the debt and increasing more poverty? Okay, so lately, big business companies, record profits, man, and their workers are poor and they cannot even afford the cost of living. So rightfully so, it's gotten them a lot of PR lately. In fact, it's been more in our awareness and consciousness than ever before because of all the bad PR. So they've made some decisions of some wicked manipulation. So first, if you're a worker who's gotten a pay raise or a bonus, that's awesome. So I'm not dissing that at all. However, the big business interests that they're coming from, for example, many of them say that, oh, it's a result of the new tax bill that they decided before the tax bill. It's time-stamped in order that way, but they're not reporting it that way, and the media isn't calling them out on that I know of. So that's just a big fat lie. The tax bill doesn't get any credit for that. They were going to do it anyway because of the pressure from PR that they've been getting, and rightfully so. Okay, so the bonuses and the pay raises, it equates to, it was either 0.01 or 0.001% of their earnings. That's like if you were to go out to eat at a restaurant and you run up a bill of $10 million on one meal and you're asking for water every 2 seconds and then you leave a 1 penny tip. That's what that equates to. So I wouldn't call that generous at all. And it has nothing to do with the tax bill. So why would they do it if they're not even going to notice it because it's like a penny compared to $10 million? They do it because of the terrible PR that they've been given. I mean, they're not going to do something that they're really going to notice, like, oh, let's pay our workers a living wage. No, of course not, because they don't give a shit about you. They only care about their profits. And I'm a big fan of profits as anybody else. In fact, I love the idea of becoming really rich. But I don't want to see people become rich at the expense of other people. Get rich by bringing people with you. So that's why I hate these particular big business interests so badly. They're record profits, but it's all on the back of making people poor. It's on the back of not paying their workers enough to just live. So that's where the national deficit comes into play. So half of their workers don't make enough to pay taxes. And the other half that does make enough to pay taxes, it's such a low tax rate because their earnings are so low. So the revenue is next to nothing. However, the gap between what they're being paid and what it costs to live is pretty significant. And that has to be made up for by debt and taxes and so forth. So all this job creation, it's creating more debt. It's creating more poverty. And the big business interests that are touting this, trying to push back against the negative PR, they're massively manipulating the whole story. So stuff like this needs to get out. It needs to be more common knowledge so that they just don't get away with it anymore. So, and why do they get away with it? Well, we need to get all the private money out of politics. All of it. I'm going to tell you about a website called opensecrets.org, and there's others like it. But their sole purpose basically is to track the money in politics. You know, private money in politics basically is legalized bribery. So consider this. If you are in favor of private money entering politics and financing campaigns and things like that, then you have to go up and compete against, people like the Koch brothers and Fat Cats on Wall Street and George Soros and all those other people in the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. Can you compete with hundreds of millions of dollars? Of course you can't. That's why it's rigged against you. So that's why private money in politics is corrupt. It's a system of legalized bribery that only benefits a very small percentage of the population, a fraction of 1%. And it creates an enormous conflict of interest where anywhere else in business that would be egregiously unethical, in many places like doctors, lawyers, and so forth, would be just flat out illegal. They'd go to jail. But in our politics, where they create legislation that affects all of our lives throughout the world, somehow it's so indoctrinated into the system, it's totally legit. It's legal, for one, so it can't be prosecuted, and it's just seen as business as usual. And when it's incredibly wicked, unethical, and creates the wealth, income inequality, and the problems that we have, the science deniers, and a system that is just flagged out rigged against you unless you have hundreds of millions of dollars that you can just donate. And if you're wondering what kind of a return they get on their investment, I don't remember the exact numbers. I was reading this a short time ago. But over the past so many years, I think it was 10 years they were looking at maybe, something like $700 million or $800 million has been thrown at campaigns, private money from big money donors. But for that $700 or $800 million, they've gotten, what was it, $5-6 trillion back collectively. I don't even know if you can get that kind of return on your investment if you're doing penny stocks in the stock market. That's wow, that's quite the return of investment. So what do they care? They're going to blow a few $100 million and they get trillions back in return for the different tax breaks they get, the different socialist programs that they get that are not available to you, but they get. So we need to get all the money out of politics. And then stories like, this BS story about how they're so generous for the workers right now and just flat out lying when they say it's a result of the tax bill when it was already decided upon before the tax bill was passed. So private money has to come out of politics. Now, I don't usually do videos like this. Lately, I've been doing a few, and I'll probably do a few more because I like my country. Nobody wants to pay taxes, but everyone should pay their fair share because, I like my country. So we should all pay our fair share in taxes, and we should have a government that represents us instead of the top 0.1% of the political class donor. We should have a representative democracy instead of this ugly oligarchy because I will never be able to compete with people that can donate hundreds of millions of dollars. So therefore, it will always be rigged against us. But there is good news. I have to put this out there. You can always create opportunity for yourself. I did. So the government slanting everything against you, that is not keeping you back. No, it's not. If you're going to play in that system, maybe, but if you're not going to create opportunity for yourself, yeah, it's going to hold you back. But, that's a really dumb strategy to stake your success on a system that is slanted against you. That's not a smart strategy. So you have to create opportunity for yourself. I did it. Others have done it. Most people aren't doing it, but you can do it. You can be one of the few that does. So create opportunity for yourself. And if you want to see more of what I'm about, go to my website, TomBerkenmeyer.com. That's TomBerkenmeyer.com, just like it's spelled here on social media. And most of my videos are more about health, healing, physical fitness, financial freedom, and stuff like that. So I'll see you later. Feel free to connect with me privately if you wish. And take care, everyone. Bye for now.